Florida Sport Fishing TV presents Captain Mike's Rigging Station, powered by Mercury Marine.
What's up, guys? I'm Captain Mike, and welcome to my rigging station. We've got a great episode in store for you today. We're going to talk about Pulley Ridge. We've got a lot of information to share, so I'm going to get right to it here. What is Pulley Ridge? Let's first, of course, discuss that. Well, imagine this. You've got the state of Florida, right? Bottom of the state of Florida, you've got the Florida Keys that come down to the south and then veer off to the west. And 50 to 60 miles west of that, you've got the world-famous dry Tortugas, an absolute angling mecca. However, beyond that, another 60 to 80 miles is Pulley Ridge. This is a protected area. I don't want to say it was recently discovered, but recently capitalized on by recreational anglers. And it is a mecca. It really, just such a diversified fishery, really incredible. Understand this, we've got Pulley Ridge shallow up on the bank, 220 feet or so. Colonies of living plate coral and different sorts of algae are all thriving in this deep water. And then we've got Pulley Ridge that drops off gradually and then plummets into the depths, okay, where we're talking about 400, 600, 800, 1,000 feet of water and beyond. So you've got a wide variety of different venues and fisheries in one area. How big is Pulley Ridge? Well, you're looking at about a 60-mile stretch north to south. And again, it's 120 to 140 miles west of Key West. So certainly getting out there is a challenge, and not for the single outboard powered, 21-footer, right? That doesn't have that much range. You really have two options when it comes to fishing out there. First is the headboat option. Yankee Captain sailing out of Key West pioneered the fishery out at Pulley Ridge. Really a phenomenal option. All of the amenities that you need for a multi-day trip. Air conditioned, hot showers, bunk room, and it's all led by Captain Greg Mercurio, who's just legendary at the bottom fishing out there. Great opportunity for single passengers, maybe a team of guys, maybe you don't have 6 guys, or you don't have access to, a high-performance center console like our big 41 SeaHunter CTS. Nowadays, these center consoles have the power, have the range, have the speed, and the amenities to get you out to these distant fisheries where, what used to be a 2 or 3 day trip can now be a 1-day trip. And you can literally leave early in the morning, run out there, fish all day, and be home in time for happy hour. Regardless of how you're going to go out there, the fishing is really the same. And I want to get you really dialed in because you're spending a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and success out at Pulley Ridge really relies on proper preparation and proper tackle. Let's talk about Pulley Ridge by day. For the most part, I would say certainly the majority of anglers that are heading out to Pulley Ridge during the day are going to deep drop. They're going to fish 400 to 800 feet, sometimes a little bit deeper, sometimes a little bit shallower, but in that deep drop range, targeting a variety of different species. Blue line tilefish, snowy groupers, yellow edge groupers. As you push the boundaries into a little bit of deeper water, you're going to find golden tilefish. Certainly you're going to find the coveted queen snapper that everybody loved to catch. Barrelfish. A giant warsaw is a possibility at any time as well. There's just such a diversified arena out there that really you never know what you're going to find. You drop a rig to the bottom and you just don't know what's going to eat it. But as I mentioned earlier, proper success is absolutely vital. Look, we're getting ready to head down there. We're going to be filming a show aboard the Yankee Captains over the next couple of days. And I wanted to share my tackle lineup with you straight up. Here's what you need. And look, understand this. This is evolving. This is an evolving fishery. If you would have asked me 4 years ago what tackle to bring or watch some of my shows based around Pulley Ridge from years ago, they might be different than today. Everything evolves. You learn more and more each season, each trip, each year. Your tackle advances, and this is where we are today.
Chaos. Gear matters.
And we got him, baby. We got him. Oh, what a slob. That's what I'm talking about, baby, right there. What a stud. That right there, baby, is deep dropping.
Chaos. Gear matters. Shop online or visit our new superstore for everything fishing.
Buying or selling anywhere in the Florida Keys, navigating the real estate waters is smooth sailing with Nate at the helm. He actually helped me find my home. Nate's also a family guy and has a clear understanding of coastal living. Nate also has firsthand experience in primary residences, second homes, investment properties, and even new construction. And when it comes to buying or selling in the Florida Keys, Nate is your guy.
Buying or selling property anywhere in the Florida Keys, you have to work with someone you trust. I helped Mike, and I can help you.
Look, preparation, it's everything. Let's first talk about the tackle. This, of course, is in addition to your toiletries. You're going on a camping trip, right? Out on the middle of the ocean. Regardless if it's for 24 hours on a center console or for 72 hours on a long-range boat. Either way, you're out there and you need the basic essentials. I don't need to tell you that. But when it comes to tackle, what used to be a truckload of gear is really now just one flambeau case of gear. But it's important that you have what you need. So here's my lineup. Let's start right at the top, no pun intended. Tools, you gotta have a pair of crimpers, pair of snips, super important for heavy line because we're using 150-pound test on our rigs. Pliers, goes without saying. Bait knife, you absolutely need a bait knife. Not only are you going to be fishing whole squid, but certainly you're going to be cutting up a variety of different things for fresh bait, and fresh bait is vital for success. So make sure you've got a bait knife. Gloves, some extra terminal tackle, things to that nature. Again, these are just staples that you need regardless of who you're going out with. Now the good stuff, and of course some hand towels. Look, anytime you're dealing with squid and anytime you're deep dropping for hours, you're gonna need some hand towels, that's for sure. We've got a case with extra jigs. We've got a case that's probably one of the most important things that you're gonna have. Extra hooks, extra swivels, extra crimps, snaps, barrels, swivel sleeves, crane swivels. You know, like I said, everything that you need, but nice and neat, one small case, that's it. Don't bring a whole bunch of junk just to bring it and you're never gonna use it. A spool of 40-pound diamond braid. I can't tell you how important this is. You're out there in the middle of the ocean. And I'll tell you, when you're fishing on a headboat, a lot of things could go wrong. A lot of tangles, which are inevitable. It's gonna happen. You're deep dropping with 20 guys. You're gonna get tangled. You really are. And it's not uncommon to lose line. So make sure that you've got some extra braid to re-spool your reel. 40 or 50, either is gonna work out there. Of course, leader material. Okay, to tie additional rigs, you're gonna need some 150-pound test Momoy extra hard leader material. Rigs, okay, rigs. I tie a whole bunch of rigs in advance. And you can see they're all very organized, and I bring a dozen, okay? I bring a dozen, but I bring all of the additional terminal gear to create and to rig more if I need to. But this certainly is gonna get me started. And look, there's been trips out there where I might lose one rig in 2 or 3 days of fishing. Sometimes you never lose a single rig, but there are other trips where You might lose, like I said, 10 or a dozen rigs due to various reasons. So I don't want to spend time during a hot bite having to re-rig, and because it takes a little bit of time, right? So I would rather be well prepared, have my rigs ready to go, and just pull them out of the package and boom. You know, so certainly very important. Cords for my electric reels. I bring 3 of them. Okay, 3 of them, because I'll tell you what, pulley ridge is the place where electric reels go to die. Cords fail regularly, so of course it's always a great idea to have some spares, because if you need it, it's hard to get stuff out there, right? Impossible, I should say. So make sure that you've got extras. And of course, to power those electric reels, I bring a 12-volt deep cycle, fully charged marine battery. The guys with the center consoles, look, like on our SeaHunter, we've got the plugs. We plug right in, makes it super simple, super convenient. We've got 4 plugs situated all around the SeaHunter so multiple guys can deep drop. On the head boats, that isn't the case. Okay, you're gonna need to bring your own power source. So like I said, that 12-volt deep cycle marine battery is the way to go. A lot of guys use these portable batteries. In my opinion, not my favorite thing. You know, I don't want to worry about a small little portable battery dying. And honestly, it may work for a kite, it may work for deep dropping for a limited time, but you're talking about fishing hardcore dawn to dusk. Think about how many drops you're going to make from dawn to dusk, okay, for multiple days. I don't know about that little battery, but that's up to you. That's just one thing that I don't want to concern myself with. But this is it right here. This is everything that I need to get in the game, to get hooked up, and to stay hooked up.
For over 80 years, Furuno Innovations have helped more fishermen find and catch more fish than any other brand. And we're raising the bar again with Navnet TZ Touch 3's new PVG and Fish It Drifted technologies. Build your own 3-dimensional shaded relief charts to find trophy fish others have missed. Perform accurate drifts the first time, every time. Be the one everyone follows. When you're serious about fishing, lead the way and get serious with Furuno.
The weather is beautiful and the fishing is great. Captain Pips has the largest rental boat fleet in the Keys, including new twin-engine center consoles. 5 locations, 150 boats ready to fish and cruise. And we deliver. Stay and play in a fully appointed cottage or catch the sunset off your very own Aqua Lodge. For the best hassle-free vacation the entire family will enjoy, no one does the Florida Keys better than Captain Pips. Mention Florida Sport Fishing and receive 10% off your entire stay.
Seeing Zack attack with my own eyes, I'll never pull another trolling lure. Hey guys, I'm Captain Mike and welcome to my rigging station. You've asked over and over, here's the answer. Dubro Fishing. 4 different styles of rod and reel holder mounts for every application. Their ingenious lure and leader keeper system is perfect, either permanently mounted or portable. It keeps everything I need right at my fingertips so I could focus on staying hooked up. Listen, I count on Dubro products, so should you. Check out their full line of innovative gear at dubrofishing.com. Rods. Like I said, you're gonna be deep dropping for the most part throughout the entire day, and you really have a couple different options. Let me share with you what I prefer. Now, aboard the Yankee Captains, when I'm fishing on a head boat, through years of experience, years of doing these trips, I have found that the ultimate setup for me right now, this is it, this is the ultimate setup. It's a Chaos 20 to 40 pound, 8-foot conventional rod. Could be a 30 to 50 pound. They also have a 30 to 60 pound model. They're all gonna work for you. You know, it's something that's got some beef. It's something that's very light. This rod weighs under a pound, not with the reel, but the rod itself is 15 ounces. Okay, it's very sensitive, very strong, but very comfortable to fish. I've got the rod matched to a Shimano Beastmaster 9000. This is the ultimate in power assist electric reels, especially for its portability. Look how light this is, incredibly light. I could easily walk around and hold this under my arm, and that's what I want to do. I want to increase the sport of deep dropping during the day. I don't want to fish a really big, heavy, hooker electric on a Tiagra 80. That's what we're using sword fishing. I don't want to use that for snapper and grouper. I want something under my arm. The reel. Really important. It's absolutely loaded with fresh 40 or 50-pound diamond braid. Those are your options. And I've got a 30-foot top shot. You could see it right there, 30 feet of 80-pound monofilament. So I go from 40-pound braid to 80-pound mono, 30 feet. I connect the braid to the mono with an Alberto knot. Very small, very smooth, goes in and out of the guides very easily. The monofilament provides some stretch, which you need, some elasticity. Also, remember what I said earlier, rigs get tangled. You're on a headboat, a lot of guys fishing, and when the rigs come together as they approach the surface in a tangle, it's much easier to untangle and deal with your mono. You could always replace this mono top shot at any time. It's very easy to snip a little bit off, to cut it all off and replace it. Makes it very convenient, and it ensures that you're always fishing the freshest tackle, so to speak. Now, the advantage of the 8-foot rod on the headboat is mobility. I've got a lot of guys that are fishing with me. I'm gonna have to go over, I'm gonna have to go under, I'm gonna have to go around, I'm gonna have to move a lot. I'm on a headboat, okay? So I need that mobility, and that's where this comes into play. Right under the arm, I've got the power feature, I've got the manual feature, very comfortable, and I can handle almost anything that swims out there with this particular outfit. Now understand, if I'm on a private boat, if I'm aboard my SeaHunter, or guys running out there on their center consoles, certainly you can make an adjustment and fish a bent butt outfit, because of course your rod holder is in the correct position, you're not dealing with 20 people, you don't need the same type of mobility. So there's a lot of benefits, right, to deep dropping out of a rod holder. And yet the outfit is still light enough where if I want to pick it up and really fight that fish under my arm, I have that ability to do it. So there are plus and minuses to both setups depending on your particular application. But at the end of the day, you're doing the same thing. You're deep dropping, right? You're dropping baits to the bottom for a variety of species with the same rigs, regardless of which application, which boat. Let's talk about that rig. I prefer to fish a 2-hook rig, okay? I'm not trying to catch 5 fish at one time. I'm really not. A 2-hook deep drop rig out there at Pulley Ridge is really all that you need, okay, for a number of reasons. Number one, if I fish a 4 or 5 hook rig with a lot of schmeckla, glow beads and skirts, and it creates a lot of drag in the water, and it requires me to fish more lead and heavier line. Speaking of lead, I prefer to fish out there with 2 pounds. That's my goal, a 2-pound sash weight when I'm deep dropping in Pulley Ridge. We don't have the same current as we do here in the Gulf Stream in the Gulf of Mexico. You've got the loop current, but not with the same velocity. It's certainly slower. And understand this, on the subject of loop currents and Gulf Stream and why Pulley Ridge is such a special place. Where Pulley Ridge is located, west coast in the Gulf of Mexico, and the way that the loop current flows out of the Gulf of Mexico around the Florida Keys and up the eastern seaboard. Our area here in the Florida Keys, our local patch reef systems are fed by Pulley Ridge. That's why the area is, of such concern. That's why it's so important that it remain protected. You can't anchor out in Pulley Ridge on the bottom because they don't want you to damage the algae and the corals that live out there. Okay, and there's a lot of restrictions out there. No, commercial longline gear on the bottom or trap set on the bottom or nothing like that. It's really an area of high concern that needs to be protected because it also feeds, as I mentioned, the entire Florida Keys island chain, all of our patch reefs here. But getting back to it, 2-hook rig. It's basically a high-low rig. The entire rig is tied on 150-pound test leader material. I've got 9.0 VMC inline tournament circle hooks, which are a requirement when you're fishing fresh or live bait out in the Gulf of Mexico for bottom fish. You've got to fish that inline non-stainless steel circle hook. And the rig itself is about 6 feet long. I'm going to start, at the bottom. I'm going to give you a quick overview of it, and then we're going to tie one real quick and kind of walk you through it. But the end result, starting at the bottom, is basically just a snap swivel where you're going to attach your weight, because that sinker is going to be spinning on the way up and on the way down. We've got one branch. Okay, same 150 pound that comes off about 18 to 24 inches, somewhere in that ballpark, with a little swivel sleeve, 9.0 VMC hook. That's gonna sit on or near the bottom. And then 4 or 5 feet up, maybe even 6 feet up, you've got a second hook. Same length branch, same hook. And then right at the top is just a small little loop that's crimped. That's gonna connect to your snap swivel.
Amongst cats, there are many lions, but only one rules the pride. SeaHunter CTS. Carbon Kevlar construction. Optimum stability. Decisive performance. SeaHunter boats. Factory direct sales. Factory direct service. #1 in owner experience. Schedule a zero obligation sea trial and feel the difference.
Don't even lift and pump, just reel. Just reel. All right, come on, somebody get in there, crank. Got him. We got him. You ready, nice? We got him. Get him in the boat, ready? Oh! Put it onto your rod. You never jeopardize losing a rod, ever. Now, understand when we talk about bait too, squid, as I mentioned, is an absolute staple. If you're going to head out to Pulley Ridge, you better bring a 5-pound box of squid per person per day. That's a good average for the guys that are going to be deep dropping. You're not only going to use squid, anything fresh. I like to fish the meat. You will see me cut up everything. If it lives out there, other fish are eating it. It's a fish eat fish world. And if it's fresh, that's what means the most to me. So jacks, kingfish, bonitas, things to that nature all really produce some tremendous action. Deep dropping during the day, you of course want to fish ledges and sharp turns and sloping bottom and different depths. Obviously get keyed into that. There's so many tools out there today that help anglers find these key areas. All of these charting software, our new Furunos, the 22-inch displays. You can see the charts that they offer as well. Just absolutely state-of-the-art, and makes our job of getting on the bite and staying on the bite as easy as possible. Now, there is an alternative to the deep dropping, and that's jigging. Deep water jigging. Really an art. Okay, really, you've got to be dedicated. And once again, just like with every other fishery, there's a lot of different variation here. And I'm not telling you my way is the best way. I'm not telling you my way is the only way. I'm telling you my way is my way. And it's proven for me, and we've catch a lot of fish, we've caught a lot of fish, and it's certainly going to be a great place for you to start. I don't want you to think slow pitch jigging. Certainly a lot of guys go out there and they slow pitch jig and they do incredibly well. I like to call it slow jigging. Okay, just really methodical. The jigs do most of the work. This is one of my favorites, and it's called an Enforcer. It's a 400-gram jig. Perfectly mimics a squid from jigsrus.com, and it's just an ideal jig to fish out there on the bottom in 400 to 800 feet of water. I've got the jig on a jigging rod that I custom designed with Chaos. It's rated for up to 600 or 700 gram jig, so you could really fish a heavy jig on here. But more importantly, it's matched to a Shimano Oshia Jigger 4000. This is the premium jigging reel for deep water. It holds a tremendous amount of line. I've got it loaded with 20-pound diamond braid for maximum capacity, the greatest sensitivity, but the least resistance in the water. And all of that combined allows me to fish the lightest jig to keep it as vertical as I possibly can in as deep as water as I possibly can. 20-pound diamond braid, connected to a Top Shot, a 40-pound diamond illusion fluorocarbon, okay? That's it, and I bring some extra, of course, fluorocarbon. You're gonna need it for fresh Top Shots. And that's the only really other outfit that I'm gonna need. So between my jigging outfit and between the deep drop setup, that's gonna cover all of the bases that you need. Now, certainly there's gonna be other circumstances. You can go out there and troll for pelagics, wahoos, heck, I've seen blue marlin, yellowfin tuna we've caught out there, blackfin tunas on the troll, king mackerel, so all sorts of stuff. And if you want to troll, I don't need to tell you, obviously just bring some trolling outfits, regardless if you're on a head boat, they'll let you troll, or if you're on your own boat. The Nomad DTX minnows and the Mad Max are just perfect lures, and the 200-gram size or the 200-millimeter size are just absolutely perfect lures for trolling out there in Pulley Ridge. Finally, a spinning rod, because you're out there in the Gulf of Mexico, and you know what? Dolphin, mahi-mahi, almost always show up at some point. And if you want to cash in on those dolphin, you're likely going to need a spinning rod that you can throw a piece of cut bait or something like that out there. But those are all just bonus or secondary rods, because the primary goal is to be deep dropping, right? That's where you're gonna load that meat wagon right there, is when you're deep dropping. And if you wanna take a break from the action and increase the, the sport, you could go to the jig, and sometimes the jigs will outproduce the meat. That's the way it is. Sometimes metal will outproduce the meat. I'll say it over and over, and we've proven it. The jig is alive. It's not just a piece of metal. It's something that you're bringing to life. So, hey, do it right. You're going to stay tight and stick around, because now we're going to talk about Pulley Ridge after hours.